Alright boys, it's been a while since we got a balance patch, let alone a good one. So I decided to make my own balance patch, using the one and only
ChatGPT.
Hell yeah baby, we're gonna squeeze every last bit of creativity from that guy. And after he's done spitting probably the most ridiculous balance changes of all time, we're gonna rank them. So buckle up boys, because I have a feeling that this guy cooked the best dish ever. And probably the most disgusting one at the same time. And before we start, make sure to click all the buttons below. Thank you. Alright, so AI seemed to be a little lost at the beginning. He forgot about 7, Omen, and Nando for some reason.
Huh?
I can understand Omen and 7 since they're kinda new, but Nando? Like, he's been in the game since forever. Come on, it's really not that hard to look up champions from Paladins, like, bro. And once I was past adding champions that he forgot about, I was ready to jump straight into the madness that is Paladins balance. And I'm not gonna lie, at the start it was very disappointing. AI was extremely stubborn on buffing flat HP and damage, healing values, and we don't want that, these are boring. So I explicitly said,
No! God, please, no!
to these because after all we want the most creative and unique balance changes of all time, right? At least that's what he said he did. Alright, so starting off with Ash, we have Shoulder Bash. Now knocks up enemies upon impact, briefly stunning them. Damn, I was hoping to get some CC immunity here, but I guess that's fine. Kinetic Burst now grants allies a 15% damage reduction. 15% damage reduction for the whole team? Damn, that's already spicy. Love me some support abilities and tanks. And Assert Dominance now silences enemies within its radius for 2 seconds. So if I understand it correctly, the stun remains. It's just when they're inside of your flag radius, they are silenced for 2 seconds, I guess? So we get more CC, more utility, and again, more CC. I don't think she would be busted, but I think she's worthy of an OP tier now. Yeah, let's put her here. Next up, we have Atlas with... oh, damn. Setback now slows enemies by 50% for 2 seconds. My guy, that's a nerf.
I wanted you to buff them, not nerf them.
What do you mean no more rewinding? Next we have Stasis Field, now grants allies a 400 health shield upon activation. Finally we got some shielding Atlas gameplay, let's go. And lastly we have Second Chance, now resets the cooldown of all abilities upon activation. That is straight up nasty. Constant uptime on all of your abilities? Damn, he do be cooking right now. But if you really think about it, even though you have 100% uptime on all your abilities all the time pretty much, you don't really rewind people because that's gone now, so I can't really put him higher than OP. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think he would be OP in that scenario without the rewind, but I guess I'll leave him in OP for now. Coming up with my boy Azaan. His ultimate now roots enemies in place for 1 second upon activation. So that means the second you press your ultimate button,
Everyone
get rooted, so you have an easier time actually dealing damage with your ult now. Sanctuary, so his walls, now grants allies 20% damage boost for 4 seconds. And there's no specified radius, so I guess no matter where you are on the field, everyone get 20% damage boost for 4 seconds. That is ridiculous. And lastly, Reckoning now cleanses allies of crowd control effects upon activation. Huh? Yingot? Is that you? Why do you have a cooldown? Ain't no way he's not god tier. There's no way in the world he's not god tier after these buffs. He deserves to be in here. Alright, now for our fellow dwarf, we have turrets now periodically apply a 15% speed boost to nearby allies. And again, I love the idea of tanks having more supportive abilities, so that's a yes for me. Next, Barricade now reflects 25% of damage taken back to attackers. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't have any ability that works that way, except for, you know, reversal or counter, which are different because they're not really shields. So I'm liking this one. It might be a bit toxic, but hell, it's unique, and that's where we are looking for, right? And for his last change, we have Rocket Boots now leave behind explosive mines that deal 300 damage in a small area upon activation. So it's like Omen Trail after his dash, but it's bombs and it's Barik. I don't know, more utility, I guess it's a fine change. So Barik really struggles in today's meta, and I think the change he really needs is to buff his HP, but since we prohibited flat HP buffs, these are the buffs that he got, and I think they're cool. They're pretty unique, and yeah, they could provide some more utility for him and new gameplay mechanics maybe. Especially combined with Rocket Boots duration card, that could go crazy. I think he might be pretty busted. Let's just slap him in here. Now, one of the most forgettable, according to AI, tanks, Fernando. He got a buff to his shield, which now deals 500 damage upon activation. And since they put Aegis into base kit, just imagine how hard Scourge could go here.
Shield fireball, shield fireball.
Over and over and over again. Boy, that's a lot of damage. Next up, Charge now grants allies a 20% damage reduction for 3 seconds. And Fireball now deals 50% bonus damage to enemies below 50% health. Bro, I would love to see those fat fireballs. Just imagine all the chunky numbers on your screen. That would be so satisfying. And you would get so much more ultimate charge off of it. Like, Fernando is already an S tier tank. So yeah, I think he belongs right next to Azaan right here. Moving on to Inara, she got an Earthen Guard buff, where now it increases allies' healing received for 25% for its duration. Warder's Field got a buff too. Now it grants allies a 15% damage reduction for 3 seconds. So not only you're the chunky one, now everyone is chunky. And her wall now stuns enemies for 1.5 seconds upon activation. And again, it's the same case as Azaan's ultimate, where you don't have to hit the enemies, in this case with a wall. You just activate it and they get stunned. Nasty change. So Inara is one of the most passive tanks, right? With all the DR or the rejuve and stuff. And sure, you can play her aggressively, but she was not really designed to be aggressive in the first place. And it seems like AI emphasized that passive playstyle, so I think these buffs are not that impressive, but she's better, I guess. And now we have Khan, and yeah, he just got a Vortex Grip and base kit, bro. Not only that, he brought back Firing Line and put that into base kit as well. With how good Khan is and those two buffs on top of it, I really don't think he needs another one, but here we go. Overpowered now grants Khan and nearby allies 20% increased movement speed for 3 seconds. So you ult and your allies are super fast, so they can get to you in a matter of seconds to kill that target. Damn, this is so unnecessary. Alright, so it's the same story as for Fernando. Khan is in a great spot right now, and if he got any of these buffs, it would make him absolutely god tier. So yeah, again, that's where he belongs as well, so let's put him here. Now moving on to the hook machine, to the turtle, to Makoa. He got a change to his hook where now it pulls enemies 50% faster. Yeah, I don't think it would change anything drastically. And now Shell Spin grants Makoa and nearby allies a 400 shield upon activation. pretty meh if you ask me. He's heavily countered by Wrecker already, so putting more shielding into his base kit is just not the way to go, buddy. But this next change makes Makoa at least one tier better instantly. So his ultimate now increases his attack speed by 30% for its duration. That's big. And it would look something like that. Yeah, so this change single-handedly makes him OP in my opinion, no doubt about it. Moving on to Nyx. AI was, let's say, confused on what abilities she has. For some reason he thought she has Valor and Reversal in the base kit, and as you may know that's kinda not true, so I had to correct that, but after we went over it, she got a pretty similar buff to Barik's, where her shield now reflects projectiles back at enemies with 30% increased damage. I think ChatGPT still thinks that it's reversal. Next we have a Rift Slash, which is her right click. Now it increases allies' movement speed by 20% for 4 seconds. And hell, that seems like a reasonable change to a talent or something. Doesn't seem as busted as some of the changes so far. And the last buff is to her aura thingy. Now it applies a curse on enemies, causing them to deal 20% less damage for 4 seconds. That's like a race card, but obviously much better. You're not limited to only one person. You can apply this curse to everyone on their team. That's another busted champion right here. Alright, now let's see what he got for Raum. Juggernaut now grants Raum a 50% damage reduction for its duration. So it's like Enforcer, but better. And at the base kit at the same time. Yeah, let's just make a highest HP tank in the game even more chunky, right? Why not make his Soul Harvest heal him for... Yeah, sure, thank you AI, thank you. I think at that state, Raum could absolutely 1v5 enemy team, and probably no one would die, but yeah, he would be capable of doing that, just withstanding insane amount of damage. And his last buff is actually the first one to change the talent. But it's kinda disappointing, isn't it? Is it enough to make him god tier? I don't think so. But he would be definitely busted. So yeah, busted it is. Alright, so now with Ruckus. Yeah, I think these are the most ridiculous changes so far. Yeah, so Emitter now increases allies' attack speed for 20% for its duration. I can just imagine Flags Generator with that cooldown card and this buff on top of it, bro. Especially when you combine that with Missile Launcher firing additional missiles. Bro, nasty. I think he could be busted already with those two buffs alone. But hold on for just a moment because it gets even better. His ultimate now... Yeah, can you guess? Can you guess what it does now?
It increases his movement speed for the entire duration by 40%.
So instead of standing still, as he should be, he's zooming around with Hexafire. Just, it's like Tyra ult, but it's Ruckus, so even more DPS. No, this is god tier buff right here. Absolutely deserved. Bro, that left me traumatized. Let's just move on to Terminus now. His Power Siphon now reflects 40% of damage back to attackers. I think AI really likes this idea. I think it should be implemented into the game in some form, but definitely not in this form. 40%? Bro, no, please don't. So this is a clever one. Shadowfall now creates a damaging area that deals 300 damage per second for 3 seconds. So it's like a gourd after you jump, and considering enemies are slowed after you jump at them, I think that would be a good replacement for Crush. And lastly we have Decimation, now increases Terminus attack speed by 40% for its duration. Duration? On Decimation? So like for the whole match? It's a talent, right? Right? So it's almost like the deleted talent. I think it was Seething Rage or something. And yeah, it basically made Terminus attack speed faster if you had no stacks. But here, it's just a flat 40% attack speed for the duration. So for the whole match, actually, let's just assume that for the whole match you get 40% more attack speed. It would look something like this. So yeah, if that ever happens, Decimation is the way to go. The only viable talent, like, there's no way around it. And in my opinion, it makes him... Alright, now ChatGPT just made Torvald even better. Our grandpa was already pretty strong, pretty decent, especially when he had someone to actually pocket. And now is just through the roof. So his bubble now grants him and nearby allies 400 health shield upon activation. So it's basically the same as before, but you can give shield to pretty much everyone, except the enemies, duh. And now his Nullify, it increases enemies' cooldowns by 2 seconds upon activation. Bro, as if silence wasn't enough. And his last change is to his ultimate, where now it grants Torvald and nearby allies a 20% increased attack speed for its duration. I guess it's alright, but for me the Nullify buff is absolutely nasty and the highlight of his buffs. And yep, just like that, he's in another god tier tank. Let's go. And finally, we're at the end of this tier list with the mummy Yagorath, the wormy worm, the wormest of the worms in the realm, coming in hot with Pro. Another one. They're just getting increasingly better, like 40%, now 50%? Come on, bro. Not only that, her right click now grants her and nearby allies a 30% increased attack speed for 3 seconds. Yep, we've seen that before too. AI is just stealing ideas from other champions and putting them all into Yagorath. Thankfully, her last buff is actually kinda different, cause now it reduces enemies' attack speed by 30% for 4 seconds. Bro, imagine killing Yago ult with 30% less attack speed? That would be straight up impossible, and I think that one buff alone makes her busted. But since she got 2 more buffs on top of it, yeah, she's god tier. She's absolutely god tier. And here it is, boys. The ultimate balance patch for tanks, made by ChatGPT. Let me know if you would like to see any of these ideas in the game by leaving a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe, because more similar content is coming soon. See ya!